Good afternoon, everyone. This is Alan Gerard with Balanced Weather, doing a quick video update on the severe weather potential the next couple of days. And we're starting off here by looking at a visible satellite loop of the Southern Plains and Lower Mississippi Valley, southwestern U.S. And you can see here across the Arklatex, eastern Texas, up into Oklahoma, we have a lot of low clouds streaming north, indicative of low-level moisture coming back into the region. While at the same time, you can see we have high-level cirrus clouds streaming from Arizona across New Mexico and into the Texas Panhandle, and now starting to overspread Oklahoma. This high-level cloudiness is indicative of the upper-level weather disturbances starting to push into the region that's going to come over the top of this low-level moisture that's streaming north rapidly out of the Gulf. And the combination of all of that is going to set the stage for potential for severe thunderstorms across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas later this afternoon and this evening. If we look at the dew point temperatures from the Oklahoma Mesonet, you can see that lower 60s dew points as of 1:15 this afternoon Central Time have come up to along the Red River with mid to upper 50s dew points across much of central and northern Oklahoma. And if we look at how that's changed in the last few hours, you can see that there's really been substantial moisture increase as shown by these surface dew points. As we can see, 10 to as much as 13 degree dew point increases across parts of central and western Oklahoma. So we're having really very rapid low-level moisture return coming up into the region. And with that system coming in from the west, we're starting to see some forcing in middle and upper levels of the atmosphere, along with colder temperatures at higher levels of the atmosphere, which are setting the stage for a very unstable, strong wind shear is evolving as that disturbance comes in. So we're setting the stage for the atmosphere to be supportive of significant severe weather, including the potential for some very large hail and possibly some significant tornadoes. Really, the question is, how much thunderstorm activity is there actually going to be? Because there is also going to be a bit of a cap around 10,000 feet in the atmosphere, 5 to 10,000 feet, which is going to act as a bit of a lid on thunderstorm development. So really the question is this upper level disturbance going to be sufficient to cause thunderstorm development? And we're looking at some of the high resolution models to try to get an idea of how likely thunderstorm development is. One of the models that we look at a lot is the high resolution refresh model, the HRRR, and that model updates every hour, so we can kind of see trends over many hours. And earlier today, like overnight, it really wasn't showing much development over Oklahoma or Texas today. And then some of the runs this morning, it started to show several supercell storms developing across central Oklahoma. And now if we look at some of the more recent runs, it's actually backed off a little bit again and is not showing a lot of development over Oklahoma. The ARW, which is another similar type model, is also from this morning's run, is not showing much development. The FV3 model is showing a lot of development, several big supercells developing across Oklahoma, but this model tends to be very aggressive and can overdo things. The NSSL model, high resolution model, the operational version of that model is not showing much development. However, the two MPAS versions of the NSSL model, which is an experimental newer version that's being developed at the National Severe Storms Lab, both of those models are showing development across central and southern Oklahoma later this afternoon, and even down into North Texas. And if we look at the NAM model, it takes a little longer, but it does eventually develop some storms early this evening. So the bottom line is we're still somewhat uncertain as to how much thunderstorm activity is going to develop across Oklahoma and North Texas this afternoon and this evening. But if storms develop, the atmosphere will be very supportive of significant severe weather, including the potential for very large baseball or larger sized hail, along with the potential for significant tornadoes. So obviously we're going to be watching trends very carefully over the next several hours. And as storms develop, we'll be providing further updates. If we go a little further north up into Kansas, we can see up there that by later this evening, most of the models do develop storms, and the atmosphere up here will not only be favorable for hail and potential tornadoes. As the night goes along, this image here is valid for 1 a.m. Central Time tonight. We should see a complex of storms develop and eventually spread across northeast Kansas and into parts of western Missouri, with an increasing risk of wind damage, along with the potential for some hail and some embedded tornadoes. So if we take a look at tomorrow's severe weather risk, the Storm Prediction Center has actually upgraded parts of the Mid-South and lower Ohio Valley to a moderate risk of severe weather for tomorrow. And that's basically, if we look at the tornado outlook here, which in the upper right-hand corner of this 4-panel of SPC outlooks, they now have a 15% probabilistic area with hatching, which means the potential for significant tornadoes in that region. And while there's still a lot of uncertainty as to how the thunderstorms are going to evolve tomorrow, this seems to be the area that has the greatest confidence for there being supercell storms developing during the late afternoon and evening hours in an atmosphere that's most supportive of the potential for significant tornadoes. Having said that, this entire region here from western Ohio down into the Arklatex will have favorable wind shear and very unstable conditions. And so any sustained supercells that develop in this area during the late afternoon and evening hours are going to have the potential to produce significant tornadoes, along with very large hail. And as time goes on, we should see there could be a wave earlier in the day of a line of severe storms that could move across this area up here in the lower Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region that could produce some significant wind damage similar to what we saw on Sunday. And then we would anticipate another line of severe storms to develop across this area in the late afternoon and evening hours, with additional wind damage risks, along with the potential for tornadoes and large hail. So that's an update on what we're expecting today and tomorrow. I will be continuing to provide updates via the Balanced Weather Substack. I'm planning, if storms develop later this afternoon, to have a live chat that you'll be able to join, and we'll be able to look at some of the radar data as storms evolve across parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, potentially North Texas. So stay tuned to the Balanced Weather Substack, and we'll provide more info as the day goes along.